I'm thinking back on all those times when I felt closed off from all that I could become. Eager but too scared to climb. Wanted to please my friends, but it felt like the end of myself. I was shut down and all drained out. I was lost, so I had to change. Yeah, I shook off all the bad vibes, cut me loose from the pettiness they turned on me. But now I am perfectly free to be me. This is who I am. This is who I am now. No matter what they saying, this is who I am. This is who I am now. They think that I have lost my mind, that I'm not being true, but they don't have a clue. 'Cause this is me when I cut out all the shallowness and everything I suppressed to fit in a small frame. But I won't play your game anymore, so I had to change. Yeah,
All right. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another special episode here at Mommy Guide Inc. Indeed, the world has started to open up and businesses have started to pick up again, especially those related to events. A lot of the people in our community have side hustles that are actually involved in events. And I'm sure that this episode is very apt for most of us. So please engage with us in the chat either in Mommy Guide Inc.'s Facebook page or in Mommy Guide Inc.'s YouTube channel. Just don't forget to always be respectful and kind at all times and put a Q before each question so we can easily see it. And of course, if you can put also in the chat, what business are you in right now or planning to be involved in? Our guest for tonight is Elizabeth Marasco. She is the owner of an event and marketing agency based in the US and publisher of Kudos Magazine. She's also a busy mom to two teenage sons who keep her on her toes when she's not working. Elizabeth also enjoys gardening, swimming, technology, learning new things, including her latest passion for live streaming to create amazing remote event experiences. Of course, just like me, her heart belongs to Jesus Christ and she enjoys infusing principles of kingdom entrepreneur to share his word, grace, and hope to others, especially after life storms. Elizabeth believes in hard work. It is important to maintain a healthy balance of mind and body while chasing the big dream to not lose sight of what is really important. So again, first time on Mommy Guide Inc. Live, Miss Liz Marasco. All right. Hi, Liz. Hello, hello. Okay. Oops, sorry. Okay, again, Liz, hello.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes. Sorry.
Perfectly. It's so
yes.
good to be here with you today, Lala.
Finally, after many months of trying to find a common schedule, guys, we've been trying to actually do a collab for the longest time. So thank you so much, Liz. Okay, would you want to say hi to everybody? It's actually evening right now here for us.
Well, good evening to you and good morning to all the Michiganders. So I'm really excited to have a chance to come out and hang out with Lala. I've actually had a chance to watch a lot of episodes and I feel like I know a couple of your friends
Right,
between the
exactly.
crafting and all the
Yes.
happy energy. Yeah, it's
Yes,
so great
so
to be
maybe
here.
you've seen her. You say she sounds familiar because you've seen her on the chat, guys. Yes, oftentimes you would see Liz's name in the chat. So let's say hi to everybody in the chat for a while. Tina is saying hi, Lala and Liz. All right. And Rich Vibes is here. Hi, hey everyone. Rich is gonna be on the show pretty soon as well. Ate Margie, hello everyone. And everybody saying hi to everyone. Miss Nam, good evening, good morning. All right. And we have Patrick. Patrick, good morning. Yes. Good evening for us here. Hello, Nam. That's Tinawan Kenobi. All right. So Dr. Elo, Patrick at Everyday Tech.
Lives in
Okay,
the
saying
house.
yes, and
Now
of
it's a
course we have
party.
Roy. Thank you so much. Our dear friends are here to support both of us, Liz. All right.
Yay.
Yes. All right. Hello, everybody saying hi and hello to everyone. Okay, guys, if you have questions about business and marketing, all right, I know we cannot cover everything within an hour, right? But Liz will tell you where, if ever you need more coaching or guidance. Of course, we have Victor. Hi, Victor. I just saw you
Victor.
changing your rooms and showing like three laptops, right? Uh, okay. So, Liz, okay. So, Liz, you've been in business and events and marketing for the longest time, right? All right.
Yeah, yeah.
So, how long exactly have you been in this business and what started you off?
Well, I've actually worked in events and marketing for over 20 years, but I've owned my own agency for 17 years. And my background actually starts with corporate America. I worked at
Mm-hmm.
Ford Motor Company in advanced electronics. I started off in technical writing, eventually moved into full-fledged marketing and did executive reviews, trade shows, consumer review shows all over the United States and through Europe. And then after wanting to start a family, I eventually did leave my career, took a little bit of time off, and then started my own agency so that I could do both, have a balance of having a family and
Mm,
still having a career and being able to create and share with other people. So that's sort of
amazing.
how it started. Yeah.
Exactly. So, you've been doing this for almost 2 decades now, right, Liz?
Wow, when you say it like that.
Right?
I know.
Yes,
2
yes.
decades. That's
Yes, so
criminy,
definitely
criminy.
there is wisdom, all right, with our topic tonight
Yes,
because of, Liz has been both ways. She's been in corporate and now she's in business, right? In corporate, you
yeah,
are mostly clients for businesses, and now it's the opposite way. As a business person, you now have most of
absolutely.
these corporations, big or small, as clients, right? So for
That's
someone who
right.
wants, okay, so we know that we can really get a lot of useful information from Liz and
Yeah,
give us tons of information. So for someone who wants to start an events business, Liz, or a business per se, okay, what
mhm.
is the easiest, for example, for the events to start with if you are just beginning?
Well, I think part of it comes down to grit, how far you wanna go into the event industry. It's
Mm-hmm.
actually incredible industry to be a part of. During the shutdown, the industry was hit really hard, and there's
Mm-hmm.
a lot of adjustments that are happening pre-pandemic. But if somebody wanted to start off and let's say get their feet wet. They're trying to figure out, how do I even get into this? I would consider starting even with volunteering, whether it's at your church or a local nonprofit of something that you believe in. Find out what events they have. You could try to sit on one of their committees or something like that to get a flavor for the consumer's perspective of what they want out of an event. And it's a great way to, reach out and start networking and get people to relate your name to the event industry. But I think a big thing is just being patient with yourself. It does take a
Mm-hmm.
little while for people to, believe that you're credible enough to invest their event with you.
Mm-hmm.
Because usually with events, if somebody's hiring somebody out, it's either for a personal event that they really want to have it done well, or a corporate event where they're trying to connect with clients. So part of it's building up that credibility, letting people see who you are and also what quality of work that you will deliver. So that's one of the quickest ways, I think, to be able to get into it and see if you like it. If you want to sort of fast track, you can get into, maybe participating in some local trade shows. Um, in the United States, for weddings, for instance, there are often bridal shows. I don't know, do you guys do that over there in the Philippines? Do you have
Yes, we
bridal
do
shows?
have, prior to the pandemic, there would be like, I think, every quarter there would be something like a bridal fair. We call it bridal fair.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah,
so something like
exactly.
that.
So that's a great way to, like, if you're trying to get into events and specifically you want to do weddings, because it's two different industries,
Mm-hmm.
corporate events versus weddings. But let's say it was weddings, attending some of those trade shows as a vendor could be a great way of, number one, getting your name out there, and then
Mm-hmm.
also building up your email list so you can start connecting with potential brides for doing their wedding.
All right, so that's very nice advice, right, Liz? Start small, right? So Liz is saying that
Mhm,
you could start with probably doing small events, like starting with nonprofits first,
mhm,
right? Even I think even if you have the opportunity to be I mean get a big client if you're just beginning,
mhm,
I would probably not go for that. I experienced that, guys.
mhm,
Okay,
mhm,
I was so excited that a big company was willing to get my services, but then I realized I wasn't ready for the volume
right.
that they
Yeah,
needed. So
yeah,
that's a very good advice that Liz gave us. Start small, right? Build it up slowly, right? Because most of the time, right, when we're starting, Liz, it's just you, yourself, and I,
mhm,
right? So
mhm,
it's just
mhm,
us or just family members or friends. And so as Lee said, once you get a little bit of a taste or your feet in the water, then probably
mhm,
slowly you can build it up. All right, so
mhm,
Roy is saying, teach us how to be captains of industry. Oh, yes. Anyway,
mhm.
it starts with the first step, right? All of the captains of industry, right, Liz?
Yeah, I think it does start with the first step, and really to be a captain, this goes back to that sense of credibility that when
Mm-hmm.
people work with you, that they experience that you're going to deliver, that you're going to bring vision, you're going to have clarity and be able to guide people. That's really what a captain is, having that navigation map, knowing where you're going and how to get there. And as you do that, you'll find more people will gravitate to find out more about you and your business. I started off just out of my pantry, doing a little bit of side events here and there. And at the time, my husband did not want me doing that, but it was something I
Mm-hmm.
was passionate about and I followed through. And eventually, we ended up producing our own bridal show. I had a long lasting bridal show that was called My Big Fat Genesee Wedding.
Oh,
And
nice.
it drew in hundreds of brides every single season that we hosted the event. And it was a wonderful experience. But that was made possible because of what I was delivering and helping even other wedding businesses connect with. So on average, we would have about 50 or 60 businesses that would participate in that show.
Wow, it's a big
And
event.
yeah, it was a big event. It was well known. In fact, I wish I would have shared with you one of the photos. This is kind of a tip too, like for like getting into it. You really want to grow your business.
Mm-hmm.
One of the things that I used was momentum of marketing,
Mm-hmm.
of finding ways to get people to talk. So the very first bridal show, "Go Big or Go Home," is how I produced the event.
Wow.
And I worked with a local baker. We had a cake made that was roughly 7 feet tall. And we hid these little diamonds. Well, they weren't little, they were big diamonds inside of the cake. And at the time, I owned a bridal salon too. So we had bridal gowns for like bridal attire. So what we did was have the brides come in, they picked out two dresses and they did what was called a cake dive. Whoever found three of the five diamonds won a wedding, and the first wedding that we gave
Wow.
away, it was valued at $40,000. So it made I would it was on the front page of the newspaper. It was all over the place because it was a little bit of it was a big deal. And that
That's a
helped
nice
build the
thing.
momentum of getting my name out. So part of this goes down to, is it a passion hobby, or is this a full-time career that you're trying to make out of this? So evaluating how far you want to go in terms of investment of your time and your money will determine how far you go with promoting your business. And there's nothing wrong with owning a small event agency that just
Mhm.
does a couple of events and it's fun,
Mhm.
versus scaling it to the level where we had scaled Brady Events and Marketing, which was a pretty massive endeavor. But it's been an amazing experience to work in this industry. You'll meet a lot of people if you work in events. In terms of networking and connections, you'll be amazed if you work in this industry, the people that you'll likely cross paths with. So it'll surprise you.
Exactly. So
It'll
it's
be
like,
fun. Yeah.
opportunities pop up here and there, right? Maybe you were just
Hmm.
interested in, probably for our community, you're just interested in the beginning to just create, invitations, or,
Hmm.
tokens or giveaways. But then eventually you realize that you can actually also do hosting, or you can actually do something else, right? Other parts
That's
of,
right.
the events. So,
That's right.
yes. So moving forward now, okay, before we actually dive into the 5 tips for business startups, right, Liz? How is now the events business? Okay. Anyway, in that side of the world, or maybe you can do like, overall. Is it
Yeah.
starting to pick up already? So what do you think is gonna happen to the events business moving
Hmm.
forward?
I think that we will always have events because humans are naturally social beings. We like to connect with people.
Mm-hmm.
I live in Michigan, so we were hit a little bit harder with the close downs. And just recently, people are starting to gather more, and um, corporate accounts are starting to host some of these events. In fact, there's one company who I've worked with for a long time, Hurley Medical Center and Hurley Foundation. Every year they do a huge gala fundraiser. And for the past 2 years, it's been canceled. So
Mm-hmm.
this May will be the first time that they've hosted that event in 2 years. And I'm incredibly excited because it's a sign of the times that things are opening up and people are starting to get back into it. But as far as events, I think that normally it's one of the most stable industries because no matter what, people are going to get married. There's
Mm-hmm.
going to be corporate events that are happening. It's a natural way that we live, so I'm ready for it, a little bit
Yes.
more fun.
So
Hmm.
ready. Always be ready, right, Liz? So
Yes, yeah.
Victor is saying in the chat that events will be hybrid. What's your take on
I
that?
completely agree. In fact, I think the ones that stay only in person
Mm-hmm.
are going to be missing an element because now we opened up Pandora's box in a way when it came to these lockdowns and everyone gravitated to online events and
Mm-hmm.
streaming. There was a lot of advantages for that, especially for some people who can't make it to events, whether it's for a schedule conflict or even like maybe a physical mobility issue they have of not being well or not having the physical strength or the finances or the whatever to travel.
Mm-hmm.
So live streaming has opened up so many opportunities and being able to in some ways keep us closer. And I believe that this will actually, the hybrids that Victor
Mm-hmm.
was talking about, I think that we'll start to see that even in more weddings. And one of the things is, and this, Lala,
Mm-hmm.
with live streaming, it's different than just like a Zoom call. So I think with weddings, we will start to see people that are doing these hybrid events, like a wedding, and they're doing a pre-roll of the couple before they got married, and then like shots of what's happening during the wedding. And for corporate and nonprofit, the same thing. There's also great opportunity for corporations and nonprofits to get in there with a hybrid element to find new ways to either generate new sales or increase fundraising. So, why put away a tool that is so powerful? I think we'll see it actually become better.
Wow. So it's actually getting more exciting, guys, right? As
Yeah,
new
yeah.
things that we never even imagined possible before, right? Most people would frown on, no, 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 no. Okay, it's all about, engagement face to face, but now
Right.
everybody has embraced the option of hybrids or virtual events, right?
Mhm,
So again,
mhm.
so that's another opportunity for everybody. So we've been learning to do that as well. All right.
Yeah.
So
In fact, one of my clients,
mhm,
during the lockdown, in October, there's a breast cancer fundraising event,
mhm.
and normally it was in person. It would always sell out, um,
Wow.
like 2 or 3 weeks before the event happened. It was always sold out, but after the lockdowns happened, that had to stop. So that was switched completely to online, and believe it or not, records were broke this past year, like almost 50% more
Wow.
in donations in different ways. So part of that comes back to all of us adjusting, the way that we operate in the world has changed, and
Mhm.
how can we find ways to take advantage of that to sustain our own business or our own nonprofit or our own project that we're working on.
So, as business or possible business people or entrepreneurs, that being open minded, right, in terms of the
Yeah.
possibilities, you need to adapt to the change. Of course,
Hmm.
especially for people who've been so used to doing, in real
Hmm.
life events, now that,
Yeah.
it's opening up, we see that it's still the virtual kind of events are still being welcomed. Okay,
Hmm.
Patrick is saying in the chat, I've set up a few Zoom weddings. Wow, Patrick.
Hmm.
Didn't know that Patrick was in events as well. It lowers the cost of the wedding, indeed, for the couple,
Hmm.
smaller weddings, and it lowers the cost of the guests who don't want to travel so
That's right.
far. Yes,
Yeah.
that's a win-win situation for some, right? And
Hmm.
Rich actually is a DJ. Okay, he's a DJ friend of ours. He said, I DJ'd my friend's wedding last year when I was suffering from COVID and couldn't attend in person. So normally, he wouldn't be able to do that event anymore, right? Because if you're sick, or if you have COVID, then you cannot
Yeah.
go out.
Yeah.
But because we have the
Mm-mm.
option to do virtual events,
Mhm.
then again, there's the pros and cons, right? So we just really have to be open to the changes and be willing to learn, right? Because Liz,
That's right.
this technology thing is very new to me. I just started to learn how to actually do live streams, even Zoom meetings. I was forced to change, why business. I have a learning
Mhm.
center, right? So it used to be, face to face teaching, and then eventually I had to transition as well into virtual.
Mhm.
I needed to learn how to do Zoom. I didn't know what to do. Different platforms that can be used. And I think Liz also did the same thing, right, Liz? In terms of your
Yeah, I
business?
think we kinda started at the same time, but now you're mastering it now. You're slaying it, Lala. You
No,
really are. She's
no,
becoming
that's
like an
not.
international celebrity
Oh
from
no.
coast to coast and around the globe. It's true.
All right.
But
Thank
yeah,
you so
I
much,
I
Liz. Yeah.
think I think that we all had to jump on that technology
Mm-mm.
bandwagon,
Exactly.
and I in the past I did a lot of video editing
Mm-hmm.
for I published a magazine called Kudos, and
Oh
we would have
yes.
different videos that were tied to it. But through live streaming, I have found that it saves so much time. It can create I think a little bit of a personal touch. I mean, like here we are live. There's people that are viewing, we can interact. So there's a whole nother element when it comes to the live component. And with live streaming with platforms like Ecamm, it
Mm-hmm.
really gives us an opportunity to step it up and do something that's beyond just like a standard Zoom. So I think with time that like the live streaming is going to become a key component to a lot of things in life. But I love it. I've had a chance to meet so many wonderful people like
Yeah.
you. You and I started off in Lita together. That's
Yes.
how I met you originally. And that was like when everybody was trying to figure out what to do at this time and being confined. And
True.
through that, it was almost like God switched beauty for ashes and took something that was bad. And, there was some really beautiful blessings that came out of it. New
Exactly.
friendships, new knowledge,
Yes.
new skills.
Exactly.
So,
Right. So initially we just wanted to find another platform for our businesses to continue on, or for those who want to
mhm,
start their own business. But one thing that
yeah,
we actually, a super add on is that we gained more friends, not just within our
I
local
know, it's
community,
so
but
great.
worldwide. Who would have ever thought that I would be able to meet
I
Liz,
know.
right? And so
It's
many people here in
amazing.
the chat are also not just from the
I know.
Philippines. Some are from the United Arab Emirates, some
Mhm.
are from Europe. So it's basically, an international event that we're actually having here because of live streaming. Like Honey May is from
Isn't that
Europe. Thank you,
amazing?
Miss Honey May, for dropping by. She's just listening. Probably she's working. All
Hello,
right.
honey.
And thank you so much, Patrick. There you go. Zoom is a trigger word for me, Victor said.
I
All
know,
right.
I know. And I think that's like one of the things, a lot of people have Zoom burnout,
Mm-mm.
from sitting
True.
in too many of those meetings, but they need to see some of the aspects that are beyond Zoom. Like we're a little bit spoiled in terms of having access to eCam. Other people can
Yes.
too. You can get a free 14-day trial. Try it out if you're a Mac user, if not vMix,
Mm-hmm.
if you're PC. But the tools that are in there, it can make it so much more fun. But part of it's being willing to embrace that technology little learning curve. And after you get through it, it
Yes.
opens up like this whole new world of possibilities.
Who would
And
have
it's so
ever
much
thought,
fun.
right, that Mommy Lala would be able to do live streaming, guys?
I
I,
know you're rocking it out though,
I
Lala. You are. It's
and Ecamm
awesome.
is, well, we're both Ecamm users, so listen, so we love Ecamm. But again, if
Me
you're not
too.
on the Mac, there's an option that's a PC version. Okay,
Hmm.
vMix. All right. So if you want to know more about that, I think I did an episode where I talked about the different platforms, so you can look it up, or I'll probably put it in the chat as well later on.
Nice.
All right. So Liz, okay. So for our new or starting entrepreneurs, okay, specifically
Yeah.
with events, maybe you can just, just give them the five, just five helpful tips in terms of, how to start up with, in terms of events. And eventually, one thing that's really very important in any business is that marketing side of it, right? So
Hmm.
maybe a little bit
Hmm.
of marketing.
Yeah. So I think first and foremost, getting out there networking, getting your name out into your local community if it's an offline endeavor you're doing, if it's
Mm-hmm.
online, same principles sort of apply as far as like networking, doing things that are going to connect you with other people that you can solve their problem. So the big thing is remembering to serve others and delivering your best quality. I think that was one of the key things, like distinguishing things with my agency, is we would always go above and beyond. I would always over deliver. And as a result of that, people would talk about it. They would say, you need to get
Nice.
Liz from Brady Events to do this event. Did you see what she did? So that buzz and that momentum was illustrated by other people. It wasn't me. My actions of what I did got the other people that were receiving the service to talk
Mm-hmm.
about my agency and my team. So I think networking, serving others is key.
All right.
Also, another big one that's not so fancy or fun to talk about is being practical. I think that it's important to know the difference between being frugal and being cheap. If
Mm-hmm.
you're starting a company, don't go buy the great big truck if you're doing a landscape company before you have the clients flowing in to be able to sustain that expense of a truck or whatever investment that you need to get. A lot of times people will get into like I've got to have this to be successful. No, really what you need is your two hands and your mind and your willingness to go work and be creative finding solutions. And as you build up that repertoire and you have income coming in, buy things that you need. And another one is understand as you hire people that they may be passionate about the project that you're working on. They may be excited, but there's a different level of excitement that somebody's working for you will have versus what you're going to have as the business owner. In short,
Mm-hmm.
meaning people will work hard, but you're always going to work harder if you're working for yourself because it's your baby.
Mm-mm.
And that's the key thing. Remember, a business is like a baby. You nurture it and you keep giving it different skill sets to grow into so it can evolve and mature. So I guess those would be my little pieces of advice if you do want to start up your business.
All
And
right.
then, of course, utilize social media too. Of
All right,
course.
exactly. Social media. So that's actually, we
Mhm.
will talk about that in a little bit. But at this point, Liz, I want us to show them some of the events, okay, that you actually did, okay, in the past. All
Yeah.
right. So can you tell us something about what this photo is all about?
This was actually a fundraiser, and the theme was Motown. Detroit's known for, if you know, Motown music, so it was a Motown theme. And you can see from the ceiling, there's beaded long strand beads with these glass orbs. They
Oh, so
have
that wasn't part of the venue.
no, the
No.
chandelier, the two big the chandeliers are,
Mm-hmm.
but all of those things that are hanging down. And actually, the trick on using that is, a combination of either like magnets or special hooks.
Yes, because you're not
That
supposed to put anything, right? Or nails
no,
or
yeah,
something.
no.
Yes.
So one of the often, we're pretty well versed on the different venues that are up here, but if you're not familiar with a venue, I look at really odd things when I walk into a room. Like I would look at the ceiling grid, I would look at what's the spacing between like the coffered ceiling, so that you can which tools you need to be able to do treatments like that. And then the big
Mm-hmm.
thing I think is the emphasis. If you look around the perimeter of that particular
This
room,
looked like a very
um,
big event, Liz. This is like a
yeah,
ballroom.
this was about 500 to 600 people at this
Mhm.
one. Usually, most of our events that we produce are 500 is like the smallest,
Mhm. Wow.
to 3,000 people. But if you look in the background, like around the perimeter of that room, it's
Mhm.
actually draped all in fabric. That's all pipe and drape that we brought in there, and then came in and did uplights throughout all of it. And then obviously the color theme for that particular one was green and blue. So yeah, it's a little bit
Wow. All
dark, but I
right.
think I was trying to capture the color of the lighting.
Okay. So this is another one.
Yeah, this is the bridal show that I produced. Um, Big Fat Genesee Wedding, and I had in
And
this
this is an
particular
annual
one
thing
these.
that
Yeah, I'm not doing that anymore, but this
Mhm.
is when I was in the bridal industry. These were
Mm.
things that I did to generate publicity for our agency. So this was actually at Warwick Hills Country Club. They used to host a lot of the like the Buick Open, some
Mhm.
bigger golf, whatever. But anyhow, so in this case, I actually had mannequin models that stood on the stage and rotated out different bridal gowns. And you can see behind, I've got pipe and drape. And on that particular backdrop, it's spandex fabric that's white and it's all cinched
Oh.
together really tight,
And
with
just the
multiple
lights.
layers.
What are
Yeah,
the
and then it was pink lights that we did behind
Oh,
it to give it that look. Yeah.
nice.
And you can't quite see it, but in the left-hand lower corner, that table is actually plexiglass.
Oh yeah, I
And
think so. Yes.
yeah, and then ordinarily we would take a light, put a light underneath there, and then the whole table would illuminate in
Wow.
whatever color we had that
All
light.
right. So and then this one is very very nice.
Yeah, this is another one where we did a mock-up at one of our bridal shows, and then came in and framed an entire booth, like with a square, small square around the booth with different fabric. And this was just showcasing at the time. I was selling ribbon that looked like it was embezzled with diamonds.
Oh,
And you
it
can see that on that
sparkles.
vase. Yeah.
Nice. All right. And this one's very interesting.
Yeah, that's actually my niece,
Okay.
Samantha. And this is at one of the trade shows. On top of the event decor and design, one of the key things that my agency did was we provided high-end entertainment, especially for
Wow.
corporate events and nonprofit events. So in this particular case, there's a chandelier that's hanging above her, cascaded with flowers above it. She's dressed in a mermaid
Oh, so
outfit.
she's a mermaid there. That's
Yes, so
why there are
she's a
shells.
mermaid.
All right.
Yeah, so like when you zoom, well, if you could zoom in,
Okay, let me
you'd
see.
see that there's orchids and seashells and stuff like that. And her goal for that whole night was she was actually mocking the guest,
I
and
know
we
I
had
can.
given her a list of different mermaid jokes, and she would just shoot them off as people came by. And I think that's part of it is with events to keep it exciting. It comes back to, providing the unexpected, providing whimsical wows and
Mhm.
things that get people to say, I've never seen anything like that. How much that was so much fun.
All right.
And that's one of the things I love to do when I do design and produce events for clients.
Okay, so you see how pretty exciting the different kinds of events that Liz has done in the past. And these are just samples. We wanted to even show you some of the videos, but then we
There's
couldn't.
so much.
Yes,
Yeah.
maybe next time. All right. So
Yeah, there you
actually,
go.
all right. So Liz is actually doing something that you guys, everybody, actually, I'm part of it. I already started. Okay, so if you are in business already, or if you want to start your own business, and then you want to leverage, in terms of, social media and the things that we have available for us, you can actually join Liz Create. It's called Creators 30. Okay, so this
Mhm.
is it. So Liz, maybe you want to talk about Creators 30
Yeah,
challenge?
so we're buckle up, put on your seatbelts. We're going to take a
Mm-hmm.
sharp right here. So events and marketing kind of go hand in hand with everything that happened. The past couple of years, we really started focusing on digital online marketing. And this April, we're hosting a free challenge. You can jump in at any time. The whole idea is how to create content more consistently, more creatively, and how to create content that will help you convert fans into loyal clients. So if you're interested in doing that, you can go sign up. It's absolutely free. Each day you'll get a prompt for a different video to go produce. And on top of that, you get a little bit of support and some feedback and some encouragement. But the big thing is the more often you do anything, you get better at it. And we're hoping through this challenge, including myself, like I want to get better at making content that's engaging and fun.
Yes, we
So
learn from each
I'm
other,
doing
right,
it.
Liz?
That's right. That's right.
Yes. So guys, this is for free. Okay? This
Yeah.
is not a publicity or anything. It's really
No.
free. I am there. So if you join, you will see me there as well. So how do they join, Liz? Where do
You
they
can go,
sign up?
yeah, go to creators30.elizabethmarasco.com.
All right. So there you'll see it in the poster at the bottom. It says
Yeah.
creators30.elizabethmarasco.com. Okay. It's very
That's it.
easy. All right.
Yeah.
And it's okay. You say, "Oh, it's already April 7. Oh, we missed 60." It's
Oh, you can
okay.
come anytime. You
Come
come anytime.
anytime. Come anytime. And
Yeah.
believe me, it's worth an experience. You will
Hmm.
learn not just from Liz, okay, but from everybody who's part of the group. At the same time, you'll gain confidence. And if content creation, right, is something that you struggle with, then this is a perfect opportunity for you to get that for free. Right, Liz? All
Beautiful
right.
thing. Free is
Exactly.
great.
Exactly. Who doesn't want free stuff, right? But free stuff doesn't have to be, sometimes if it's free, it's not okay. This is okay, guys. As I said, Mommy Lala will not endorse something that I have not tried. That's always the thing is, I need to be able to have used it, or I'm part of it for me to be able to, share it with the community. All right, so let's just put some of the chats up. All right, Honey May, thank you so much again for being here. Victor is saying, I'm PC but bought a Mac. Use Ecamm, yes. So we
He's gonna come
converted
hang out with the cool kids on
Victor.
Ecamm.
Exactly. So
Yay!
Victor now is an Ecamm user. All right. And he actually
Oh,
won in Sammy Superstars event, Liz. He won a 1 year subscription to the Pro from
oh
Ecamm.
wow.
Exactly. I
Yeah.
really wanted to win. It's like, come on, come on, come on. It's like
Yeah, yeah,
maybe,
yeah.
I think two more, it was me.
Oh my gosh, you're like, I
If
was
the
so
wheels
close.
spun a little bit longer. No, it was really meant for
Yeah.
Victor. All right. And
Oh
hello,
my
Ma'am
gosh,
Kim.
how much fun.
And Rai is saying Lala needs to host a craft expo at Mommy Guide Inc. Yes, that would be a super,
Yeah.
really, it's a dream of
Mm-hmm.
mine, Liz, to be able to bring in the international community of crafters, the crafters that we look up to, who are
Yeah.
from the US or from other parts of the globe, to actually, go, either virtual, even virtual, and visit the crafty community here in the
Oh,
Philippines.
I
That's a
love
dream.
that.
That's a dream. Yes,
I
right,
like that. That's a
indeed.
great dream. I love it. I love it.
Exactly. All right. So again, I'll just show them if you want more. Okay. So these are the socials for Liz. She's actually on Facebook, guys. All right. So Elizabeth Marasco Beam. Okay. Business events and marketing strategies. All right. So that's a Facebook group, and there's a Facebook page that supports that. And also, of course, on YouTube, she's Elizabeth Marasco. Okay, and on TikTok, yes. So who thought that TikTok is just for dancing? So Mommy Lala, Mommy Guiding is using it for purely for dancing for now. But a lot of content creators are actually using it for their businesses, like Liz. All right. So Elizabeth Marasco Beam. All right.
I
So
love your dance videos. I do. And your
exactly.
son, he's getting
Yes.
into it too. It's so
Yes,
wonderful.
my son is
Yeah.
always, as everybody in my community knows, my son is under the spectrum. So, but
Mm-hmm.
despite being that, he has such a, a happy heart. Is always willing to try
Does.
and learn new stuff. So it's
That's
just that when I
right.
bring him in, I disable the comments. Every time I
That's
have my
a
son, no comments
yeah.
around. Yes, but
Yeah, I love
otherwise,
that. But you can see that the joy's radiating off of him,
yes,
and I
indeed.
think that that's contagious for all of us. So I've enjoyed his videos, and I enjoy your
Oh, thank
videos
you,
too.
Liz.
So yeah, keep on
Yes,
going.
again. Okay, so if you thought that TikTok is only just for dancing, just like what Mommy Guide is doing. Okay, again, my purpose at this point for my TikTok is to promote my Dida Dance Every Day in April challenge for those who are suffering from a little bit of obesity and other physical challenges. That this is something that you can do, doesn't entail you too much time. Okay, and that is possible, but Liz is using it for her business. All right. So just very, very short clips, 15 seconders to 30 seconders,
Hmm.
talk about the business. It's very, very effective, guys. So follow her as well on TikTok. All right. So, and of course, Superfoods, my daughter. Okay. Daughter Guide is putting all of Liz's links in the chat. Anak put also
Oh,
the
thank
links of the
you.
other people in the chat, like Everyday Tech, Miss Honey May. Okay, I have everybody's links already on Nightbot. All you need to do, anak, is just to type the first four letters of their names, and the links would show in the chat. So there you go. And we have David. Hi, David. Everybody dance. No, I know a lot of people really, really hate TikTok. in the beginning, Liz, I was in TikTok when it started because I follow Gary Vaynerchuk, and he said many
Oh,
years
yeah, I
ago
love yeah,
when
that's good
TikTok was
stuff.
not even very well known. He said you should be even if as a business person you should be in all the platforms. And then he said
Mhm.
TikTok, yes, I am in TikTok. I was like, what? For me it's like TikTok equals kids, equals
Mhm.
dancing, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
Equals doing
But
silly
it's
stuff.
actually, not exactly right. I was reading recently that the highest group of people that are joining TikTok right now are between the age of 30 and
Yes, to 50.
55.
Exactly, exactly,
It's crazy
exactly. So it's
'cause I thought it
changing.
was just kids too.
Exactly. So that's why I
Yeah,
said I didn't know, but then what do I put in TikTok? I didn't know how to do short form content at that time, right?
yeah,
Until,
yeah.
just fairly recently, Liz, in Feb, I was invited to do a challenge by one of the Filipino content creators. And it was a dance challenge. And he's a friend. So I said, I wanted to support his challenge. So I said, okay. So I
Love
danced
that.
with my kids. But after that, none. And then until I got, sick, I can't move, my legs can't move and stuff. So I said, okay, I need to do a
Yeah,
little bit of exercise. So that's why I'm there. But again,
good
there are
for
many
you.
things, there are crafty shorts in TikTok. There are,
Yeah,
businesses in TikTok. So do not,
yeah.
just dismiss TikTok because you don't like what you've seen in the past or you're
Mhm,
seeing now.
mhm,
Okay, it's
mhm,
not all about dancing, guys. There's so many ways you can leverage TikTok and
mhm, mhm.
Reels and so many others. And you will learn more of that by joining Liz's groups. All right. And also Liz has Kudos Magazine. Okay, on Facebook. As she said,
Yeah.
she has published also. Maybe just a little bit. Talk about Kudos Magazine, Liz. What is it about?
So, Kudos Magazine is focused on healthy, happy living. I actually originally started that publication. It was tied to a lot of the events that clients were hosting, and the
Mm-hmm.
magazine was distributed there. But for the most part, it's a lot of content focused on family, content that's focused on caregivers, even, or for individuals that are facing long term health issues. So I started that sort of as a personal endeavor because I was a caregiver for
Mm-hmm.
three family members. And, we went through some incredibly difficult times. After you go down that road, you get a different sense of life and different ways that our stories that we live through can help other people. And it was an incredible experience that actually touched people in ways that I
Mm-hmm.
wasn't anticipating. So I feel really blessed to have been a part of that. And that may be something that we start to put back into print. Since the pandemic, we
Mm-hmm.
did have to switch to digital, strictly digital. But again, that was another way to learn how to level up my skill set. One really cool thing for you, Lala, or even your viewers, one of the platform that I use specifically for distributing my digital magazine is called Issue. It's ISSU, and it's a digital software that has so many incredible capabilities that you could use whether you're doing a magazine, or let's say that you're even doing a crafter's catalog where you
Wow.
can include um, for instance, it could even be a live stream that you're going to have coming up in a while, and you can embed it into the magazine, or you can embed a pre-recorded video and people can
Mhm.
click and watch.
It's
So, pretty
ISSU.
dynamic.
Is it an app?
It is. It's
Mm-mm.
an online web-based software.
Mm.
ISSU. It might be
Yes.
two U's. Issue,
You. All
like
right. So
issue, like a magazine,
okay,
but no
so
E.
I'll ask Liz and probably put it in the description
Yeah,
after
but
later on.
it's just a really helpful resource.
Mm.
There's other ones that are out there, but it's a great way to be able to get your voice out to like a whole nother audience.
All
Yeah,
right,
so
that's again Kudos Magazine. That's
yeah,
KUDOS.
kudos.
All right. So they also
Yeah.
have a Facebook page for that one if you're also interested. I know that in my
Yeah.
community there are a lot of caregivers for different family members. as well.
Yeah,
Okay. So at
yeah,
this point in
yeah.
our life, we really have, our parents or our loved ones. We have elderly people in our family that we really need to take care of at this time. So I'm sure that you will get a lot of, valuable information and support from that one. All right.
Yeah,
So
and that's just
Liz,
it's an uplifting
yes.
place to go if you're looking for a little inspiration or wanna get out of a funk or, we have a lot of, medical professionals that have provided interviews and support to be able to provide the right
Yes. And I
content,
actually
so yeah.
guested there once. Yes, I taught crafting in
Oh,
one of the
yeah.
yeah, early during the pandemic. It was during the pandemic, guys. So there.
Yeah, yeah. Crafting actually can be, great for caregivers or even patients. Finding
Mhm.
different ways to get in touch with that creativity can be healing for our soul. I remember there was one young girl that was at the children's hospital, and she actually started getting into crafting, believe it or not, with duct tape. So she started making these gorgeous little purses, like evening type purses out of duct tape and little accessories. So for her, it was therapeutic. It was keeping her mind off of the struggle she was going through. But in the end, she was creating something that was beautiful to share with other people. So I think that art and crafts can actually be a way of healing people. It's
All
good for the
right.
soul.
Exactly. So again, just a last call. If again, this is you can jump in anytime. All right. So it's April 7th for the Philippines, or for this side of the world, April 6th in the other parts of the world. So you can still join. Okay, it's a free creators 30 challenge. Again, I'm joining that. Tech Troublemaker is also there. All right. So, and other friends of ours that you see in the chat are also there. So all you need to do is go to creators 30. So https www.creators30.elizabethmarasco.com. It's as
Got
easy
it.
as that one. All right. So again,
That's
Liz,
right.
I would like to thank you so much for being here with us
I'm
today.
so glad you had me come out. It was
All
so much
right.
fun. It's
And
always
I
nice
hope
chatting with
that
you.
this is not going to be the last time, but just the first one.
No, yeah,
All
and I
right.
would love it. Maybe we could have you come over onto the Kudos page
Sure,
and share
sure.
some insight for, crafting for caregivers. And I think when we share knowledge like this back and forth, that's how we can make our world just a little bit better. And Lala, you're doing
Absolutely.
that all the time, sharing positive energy,
Oh, thank
whether
you.
it's through your content or even the support that you're giving other content creators. I just think
Mm.
that you are a real rare gem,
Oh,
and I just feel so blessed to have met you.
oh,
Yeah.
same here, same here. As I said, right, Liz? One of the,
Yeah.
you know, uh, benefits really that I didn't really have foreseen coming is that I've really gained so many friends, not just here but
Mhm.
from everywhere, and this is part of
Yeah.
that group that I've met. Thank you so much, Liz. And David is saying, I have several friends that are certified art therapists who work with seniors.
That's so
Okay,
cool.
there. So Liz, you could probably, talk to David.
So
All
much
right.
fun.
Yes, and I'm
Yeah.
also,
Look at
guys,
how
looking.
fancy David's looking in his, headshot right there.
Exactly.
He's
I
got,
love
like, the
it.
hair done, a little bit of rock and roll.
All right, guys, and hopefully soon. I'm really hope. It's just David is really having a hard time trying to find a time that he can come in. He will be teaching us how to sew right with a machine. That's
Cool.
gonna be his
Yeah.
content. Okay, so let's pray for that, guys. That David can find the time to fit us into his schedule. Oh, there you go. It was great having you, Elizabeth. We learned so much tonight. That's from Superfluous, my dear daughter. All right. Also known as Daughter
Thank
Guide. Because
you.
I'm Mommy Guide. So she's Daughter Guide.
I
Right?
love that.
So
That's
the
so
people
cute.
in the chat, actually, I think Tina One Kenobi gave her that title, right? All
I
right.
love that. Yeah, you
Thank you
guys are
so
2
much.
peas in the pod. She's a little
Exactly.
sweetheart.
Yeah, so thank you everybody in the chat. Thank you so much for joining me and Liz right now. Despite the earliness of the time or the lateness of the time that you guys are here. And I hope that you have really, we have really actually inspired you to start if you are planning to start your business or to continue on with whatever business, especially in events that you have. With that, thank you so much, Liz. Thank you so much. God bless you all. Have a
God bless you
blessed
too.
weekend. I'll see you guys, not yet, almost weekend. I'll see you guys tomorrow on Tina One Kenobi's channel. Bye. Thank you so much again, everyone. It was great having you. See you again tomorrow on Tina One Kenobi's channel.